In a previous video, I talked about how you should show and not tell in filmmaking. I wanted to make another video showing exactly what I mean by that. And to illustrate, I'm going to use the first 5 minutes of the film Midnight Special. This is a movie that doesn't really come up that often in conversation, which I think is a shame because it's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I think that the writer-director Jeff Nichols is one of the best filmmakers currently working. It also features an absolutely stacked cast of some of the best actors: Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, Sam Shepard, Kirsten Dunst, Adam Driver, and low-key my favorite actor, Bill Camp. I also just think that the first 5 minutes of this film are perfect, and essentially serves as a masterclass in visual exposition, grabbing the audience's attention, and building suspense. If you haven't seen this movie, go watch it tonight. Is it a perfect film? No, of course not. But in a sea of focus-grouped, milquetoast studio movies, Midnight Special takes gigantic swings and is both incredibly authentic and honest, which feels increasingly rare these days. Okay, on to the movie. The opening shot of a movie is such a unique opportunity that so few filmmakers fully take advantage of. People will open their movie with a shot of a clock or an establishing shot of a house or something boring like that. But you should use this opportunity to do something special and interesting. Jeff Nichols opens with an enigmatic shot of duct tape covering something. We're not sure what. We then see a man come in and peel the tape back to look through a peephole. Okay, we as the audience already have so many questions. Who is this guy? Why is he hiding? What's he looking for outside? In the background, we hear a newscast talking about an Amber Alert for a missing child.
He is 8 years old, white, with blue eyes and brown hair, 4 feet 8 inches tall.
Just with these first few shots, we've already established a kind of sinister atmosphere around the movie. Joel Edgerton then turns and says,
4 feet 8 inches tall,
It's time.
roughly 6.
meaning that the audience has been dropped directly into something. We don't know what's going on, but clearly something is about to go down. We then turn around to somebody getting ready with the TV in the background. The newscaster says that the parents reported the child missing, and they show a picture of the suspect who took the child. Whoop! It's the guy we're looking at who we've just been told is not one of the parents. We then cut back to Joel Edgerton, who pulls out a knife. Things just got darker. We see that the windows have been blacked out with cardboard. Things are now even more dark and mysterious. We're left to wonder why the blackout curtains at the motel aren't enough. Why do they need to completely black it out with cardboard? Then we cut to the bed and we see a shotgun laying there. We're only in the 8th shot of the movie, but we've already got so much information and have been given so many questions already. Michael Shannon is wanted for kidnapping a child. He's holed up somewhere with a guy where they've blacked out the windows and the peephole. They have a knife and a gun, and it's time for them to do something. And we're only like 30 seconds into the film. We get another exposition shot of the news describing the missing boy. Normally, I don't love exposition like this coming from a newscast, but I think in this movie, it's an economical way of doling out tidbits to create tension. It's also totally plausible that this would happen. I think if there was an Amber Alert in a small community in West Texas, it would probably be breaking news. In this shot, we see that Michael Shannon has another gun. So these guys are armed to the teeth. The next shot that we cut to is a figure under a sheet with a light. This is another amazing, provocative shot. It looks awesome, and you're just like, what is going on? We know that this guy is suspected of kidnapping a child, and he's described as armed and extremely dangerous. So we, the audience, are left to wonder, like, is the kid tied up under there? Michael Shannon then approaches and begins to take the sheet off. And we don't know what we're gonna discover. This could be really bad. The child emerges from the sheet and he's got blue swimming goggles and giant ear protection muffs on. Nichols raises the mystery levels even higher. The kid seems to not be in danger, at least imminently, so we're like, God, okay, what now? And again, almost all this information has been doled out to us visually with no dialogue. Michael Shannon then gives a sweet little smile, and he asks if the child is ready.
It's time. You ready?
This complicates things slightly for us. We're still totally unsure what the dynamic is or what's going on here. We see a few shots of them putting knives in an ankle holster and grabbing their bag, which we know has a gun in it. And Joel Edgerton is now packing a pistol in his waistband as well, so more guns. David Wingo's amazing score then kicks in. They open the door and look around, and to us it appears that the sunlight is fading. So they made sure that there was no light in the motel room, and they're waiting to leave until the sun is down. So more information for us, but not explicitly spelled out. Now we cut into the motel office, where we can hear the employee is listening to the same newscast that they had on in the room. So we know that she just watched the report about the missing child, and that she saw Michael Shannon's face as the suspect. She sees them spiriting a child wearing goggles into the back of a car, which, red flag. She watches them peel out and then pick up the phone to call 911. We also see on the newscast on the television that there's roadwork woes. Okay, so let's recap where we are. These two guys say that it's time, and they take the child who we know has been kidnapped. They peel out of the parking lot of the motel, and the stakes have been raised because we know that the front desk person just called 911 on them. And we also know that there's a newsworthy amount of traffic that they might be encountering. So Nichols keeps slowly ratcheting up the audience's anxiety levels piece by piece. Now we see them hauling ass down the highway. So we cut inside the car and we see that they have a police scanner, which gives us a little bit more information about them, or at least has us wondering what kind of person would have a police scanner. It adds a little bit of depth and mystery to their character, but it also establishes that we're in Texas in case we missed that bit on the newscast. We then see the kid calmly reading a comic book, and at least to me, he doesn't really look like he's scared or in danger. So it introduces a little bit more dissonance into what we're seeing. I don't know anything about comics, so I can't say what he's reading, but it looks like it's about superheroes and somebody is getting blasted by a cosmic ray or something, which is a nice bit of foreshadowing. We then hear the police scanner mention them and the car that they're driving, so the stakes get ratcheted up even more now. The score is building, the characters are clearly getting more anxious, and Joel Edgerton peels off the main highway suddenly. Joel Edgerton asks for a pair of goggles from the glove box, and we cut to the child wearing their goggles. We still have no idea what the goggles are about, but now two people are wearing them, so we're even more curious. He puts the goggles on and then he kills the headlights. He also asks the child to turn off his flashlight as well. So he wants them to be in total darkness, and they're speeding down the road without the headlights on. So we're getting even more anxious now. We hear him gun the engine and speed off into total darkness, just as the score swells and the huge title card comes onto the screen. Whew! That's not even 5 minutes of screen time, and an entire pulse-pounding saga has already unfolded before us, perfectly establishing who the main characters are, the fact that they're extremely armed, showing us that they're suspected of kidnapping this child, that they're speeding towards somewhere or something with no headlights on, and now the police are on their tail as well. It also hints at the mystery shrouding this story. Who is this child? Why is he wearing goggles and earmuffs? And what's with all the darkness? All in just 4 minutes. I think this is one of the greatest openings of a movie that I've ever seen, and it's a masterclass in what you can accomplish through purely visual storytelling. I revisit it a handful of times every year, and whenever I need inspiration while I'm writing. Because if you sit down and you carefully craft what you're showing on screen, you don't need lots of extraneous dialogue. Not only that, but it's so much more exciting and entertaining for the audience to be fed information like this. It creates mystery, tension, and stakes, since now we're invested in having all these questions answered. This is only the first couple minutes of the film. The rest of the movie is also incredibly good as well, and I would highly encourage you to check it out when you get the chance. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this about movies and filmmaking, make sure that you subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.